No, and I want to show you the difference between two different time settings in Excel. One of them's a time of the day, and the other one's a time in hours. And I think a lot of people, when they're trying to work out time, specific, I see there's a lot on timesheets where people are saying, well, they work from 10 to 2, how many hours is that, et cetera, et cetera. And then the other thing is they might want to actually work out a if they work from 10 to 2 and they've got an hour's break, whatever, how many hours does that relate to? So there are two different settings in Excel. And I want to show you the difference because a lot of people get these confused. The first one is the hour, minutes setting. And that one, if I put in a time, or if I right click on that cell and I go to format cells, I go to a custom. You can go to time here if you want to do various ones for the seconds, but if you go to custom, then you can edit it. And one of the ones in custom is this one here, hour, minutes. So if I select that one, it's hour, minutes. So what that means is that is that's 400 hours, 400 hours, which is 4 a.m. in the morning. That's what that means. It doesn't mean 4 hours. It means it's 4 a.m. in the morning. So if I click OK, that's fine. Now, if I go to the other one and I right click that and go to formulate cells, now when you go to custom again, this hour, minutes isn't actually there. But one that is there as a default is the hour, minutes, seconds. So if you select that one and then go just underneath type and click on that and actually remove the 2 seconds and those 2 points, then you get 4.00. And if you say OK, that is formulated as an hour within the bracket. So if we go back to the formulate cells, custom was hour within bracket with the square brackets, minutes, seconds. They have changed it to hour, minutes, which is a new one that adds on because I edited the old one. 4 hours. Okay. What that means is that is actually 4 hours. That's not 4 a.m. That's 4 hours worth of time. Now, sometimes in a formula like this where you said between 10, so if I put in say between 10 and 2, so these two are formatted as hours, minutes, because that is 10 a.m. and that's 1400 hours. So those ones are formulated as HH.MM. But this one is formulated as that H within the square brackets, which means what number of hours. So if I simply say that less that, it actually gives me the answer of 4 hours. Now, this formula would work if you use the wrong time. But when you started doing things like take out 1 hour, when you try and go 10 a.m. minus, 2 p.m. minus 10 a.m. minus 1, you start to get into trouble when you start to subtract other hours. And the other problem that you would have is if you go over a day. So if you say, for example, this was 36 hours or 48 hours, then if you've got from 10 a.m. to 14 on 2 different days, it doesn't know what you're doing. It gets confused and it breaks down very quickly. So to convert things to the number of hours, when you're talking the double H or even H, the other format that you could use here was hour, minutes, AM, PM, because then it gives you 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the PM or in the AM. But that's not the same as the hour. The hour within the square brackets means a number of hours rather than the time. And then what you can do is the other thing that you've got to remember is that will give you 4 hours. So it'll tell you from 10 to 2 is 4 hours. Now what happens is if you want to say, for example, how much money is that? If they're earning £20 an hour, for example. So now what you need to do is you need to do 4 times that. But if you just simply put in £20 times by 4 hours, it gives you 3.33, which is not correct. So why is that not correct? And the reason why that's not correct is because that isn't, the Excel showing it as 4 hours. In the background, if we do equals that, and we format that as general, what that actually is 0.1666666 whatever 7. So why is it that? Because that's what it is 0.16666 of a day. That's what that 4 hours means. It's worked it out as a day, as a fraction. It just shows us time, but Excel's actually looking at it as a fraction of a day. So when you multiply that by 20, it gives you the wrong value. So all you need to do is do the E25, 4 hours times by 24, which then gives you that 4 as in hours, and then multiply by the hourly rate. and it'll tell you it's £80 an hour. So yeah, those are the important thing to remember here when you're multiplying it out is that the number you're looking at, although you're looking at it in hours, Excel's recognizing that as a fraction of a day. So you need to multiply by 24 to get the round number. So if I said, for example, equals that one, and I said formatted as general, and then 1.6 whatever times by 24, and if you format that as general, then it's 4 hours. So you see it as time. You need to multiply by 24 if you want to multiply it out by a rate, an hourly rate. And then the other thing you should remember are those two different formats, because if you use that format and try and work out how many hours, if you've got very basic formulas, it might just work. But when you start working backwards and you start putting in different times or different days and all the rest of it, it just goes completely haywire and all your figures will be wrong. So you want to make sure you've got them formatted correctly and that you understand exactly what is going on. So yeah, I hope that you find that helpful. And if it is something that you're wanting to do, fiddling with times, have a play around with it. But yeah, I hope that helps you very much. Thank you. Bye-bye.